Meeting of the Atwater City Council to order August 26, 2019. Roll call, please.
Ambrose?
Here.
Kale?
Here.
Raymond?
Here.
Vieira?
Here.
Creighton?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Report out of closed session, City Attorney.
Mayor, the council considered many items under closed session. There is a need to continue the closed session till after the regular meeting.
Okay. Invocation by Pastor Tyson Tolbert and flag salute by Chief Salvador. Please rise.
Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity in which to simply bow our heads and our hearts before you and, Lord, ask for your presence and your guidance. Lord, we know when we pray according to your word, you listen, you hear. And Lord, your word tells us that you are immensely concerned with justice and righteousness, the care of people, Lord, your grace, your mercy. So I pray, Lord, this night for these leaders. I ask, God, that you would grant them your wisdom, Lord. Guide them with your spirit. Let them see for all the decisions. Let them have the wisdom to see the betterment of the community. I thank you for this task they've taken on. I pray, Lord, with the closed session, the agenda tonight, all the private things and the things we're even unaware of that they have to give attention to, I ask, God, that you would be there, be their peace and strength through that. I pray, Lord, for our law officers and our firefighters and our public servants, all of them, those here tonight and those who are serving right now. God, I ask your hand upon them. I ask you to keep them safe. And I pray for our community, Lord, that everything that is done here would see growth and health in the family, peace in the community, encouragement one another. We think of our schools as well, safety over them. But Lord, bless these servants tonight with your presence, God, your power, your might through all the agenda. Bless them with wisdom. And Lord, let them lead with conviction, insight, powered by your spirit for what is best. And I thank you for it. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brantley, for helping tonight. Subsequent need items.
Mayor, there are no subsequent need items.
Approval of agenda as posted or amended.
Motion to approve the agenda as posted.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose.
Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ceremonial matters. Chief.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it is my distinct honor to invite the mayor to come down and administer the oath of office to the first police officer I've hired as your chief, Mr. Charles Lord Huff. If you'd please meet us down here.
No, turn around. Okay. You got the bifocals on tonight?
You good?
Yeah. Do we have the microphone?
We do.
Okay, come on over here, Chief. Can you hear me on this? Everybody hear me okay? So let's do this so we can optimize the camera. You come over here in the middle since you're the reason we're here tonight. Chief, stand next to him there. And then he just has to affirm at the end of this. Where'd Lori go? This is the one where he just affirms at the end. I read the entire, I get a different oath of office every time, so this is one where he just says he does at the very end?
Yes. You can read it to him, and he says I do, and we're good to go.
Okay. Do you, Charles Lord Huff, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties for which you are about to enter?
I do.
Congratulations. So we're going to have some family members come up here. The chief's going to take it over from this point, but your brother's here, and your dad's over here. And where's your mom at? Right there. There you are. So we're going to do this, but you guys are going to come up here also, so maybe hand the camera off.
Well, first, we're going to have him pinned. I got the honor of doing it at his graduation last week, but this is kind of special. As you can tell, we have all the public safety agencies here in town here today because the family is a public safety family. Charles' dad worked for Atwater Fire for many, many years, and he raised two sons that did not go to red or yellow trucks, but went to black and white police cars. So, pin him. And he, when he's working, he gets to protect my area while I'm away here protecting yours. Charles hit the road early this morning at 6 o'clock. He's been out and about doing his orientation rides and getting that stuff done. We were teasing him at 11 o'clock because he got to switch his magazines from 10-round magazines to high-capacity magazines when we swore him in officially. Yeah, but he's my first hire here in the city of Atwater. Couldn't come from a better family. He's what I hope to have long-term as your chief. I hope to start a process where we're growing him from within and bringing him up and hiring him. So Charles is number one. He'll be in the FTO. He can come on up, buddy. Come on up, come say hi. He started his FTO program, and we hope to have him out and about by himself in the next 4 months. Oh, here comes sis too. So, Charles, why don't you introduce everybody to everybody? You're hot. You're ready.
So this is my brother Sam. That's my brother's wife, Jessica. My dad, Charlie Huff. My brother, their son. This is my daughter, McKinley, and then my mom, Tracy. So, I said. Oh, and then Amber's my sister over there. So, but, yeah, look, I'm excited to work here. So I was born and raised in Atwater. Ready to have some fun. So, but, and then going up. So.
All right, so family members, if you want to come up and get some pictures, can we take like 5?
Let's, okay, we're going to take a 5-minute recess at this time for some pictures, so anybody wants to take a picture? Actually, police and fire are both here, so I want to do one with PD and one with PD and fire at the same time. So let's do those first, and then everybody else can come up.
And then I'd like Cindy, Lima, and Brandy to come up.
Sure. We can make this all happen for you.
You want to do them right now?
Teachers matter. This is the voices teachers.
Janelle, did you?
Glenn's got it.
Awesome. You guys should be proud. Look what you guys did.
Brandy.
We need about 5 more of these guys, so keep working hard.
Brandy, get Keith too. Don't argue with Tracy.
Good? All right, can we get the guys up here in uniform? Let's do the PD side first, then the fire side, and then all of us.
It's okay to smile.
We good?
Sorry, she was not smiling.
All right, the fire guys next. Oh, Brantley can come up with all of us. Fire guys up next.
Oh, hold on. Here.
Make some bad shoe polish in the locker.
Smile with Patty. Smile.
Hey, you look cute.
Hey, Amber. Samuel, with all you guys in these guys. Amber.
All right, fire guys up.
Oh, you got my purse? That thing weighs more than you, kid.
Get over here. We watched you guys grow up in the fire.
Get out of the way.
Kid, my purse. That's Chief's credit card. You got stuff. Not mine.
Are we good? Okay, all the uniforms. Police and fire together.
stay there. Okay, you guys put there. I must have. And push the chair back. A little bit closer, guys. Perfect. That's a lobby picture right there, guys.
Broke your camera set.
Hurt yourself, man.
Are we good?
Wait. The council wants to get one with you guys too.
All right, get in. Come on, Brian.
That's all right.
Cindy, come down here. Let John and Brian go there. John, you guys go up there. Right there.
Laid up, guys. Laid up.
John, go next to the chief.
We good, Patty? Thanks, guys.
All right, bud. Thank you, man.
You want it this way?
No, the other way. You know what? I got a project for public works. Put some wheels on that.
This thing on wheels, dude. Right?
Right there.
Got some dolly wheels
Got
for
a
it.
blue.
I know. That'd be great.
Trying to get a new one made.
Glenn, you're a couple inches too far to the left. I'm just kidding. We're gonna wait until they. Can you shut that door, Glenn? Please. Glenn, can you close the door? Oh, how come she didn't get there? Oh, did I blow it? Won't be the first time. Okay, we'll re-adjourn. Presentations, monthly report by Merced County Supervisor Darren McDaniel.
Mayor, Council, thank you very much.
Welcome.
I want to bring to attention, I did represent you folks in Washington DC about 4 weeks ago. I was the designated speaker by National Association of Counties and RCRC and the County of Merced to speak on behalf of the Valley drought situation. One thing I'd like to bring to their attention is a lot of folks beyond California don't understand the water situation we have here in California, especially here in the Central Valley. One of the questions that somebody had asked me right up front was what was the first thing that I'd asked the federal government that they would do for us on this. And of course I said the standard is more storage. We definitely need more storage to help us get through the droughts. But I said our main thing, though, that we want to do is we need our forest management. We have a lot of fuel on our forest floors. You would not only help us with the problems with the fires that we have, but you'd also be helping us with a third more water here in the valley if we had a managed forest. So that was well taken and well received. A lot of folks didn't even look at it as complexity as more water for us here in the valley. Also, I want to bring to your attention our final budget at the county will be at not tomorrow's meeting, but the following meeting. September 20th will be our final budget. We are moving very steadily with a very, very happily balanced budget again. I want to bring your attention to some stuff going on at Castle right now. If you're out there, you might see some barricades, some road blockage going on. We're calling it's urban grid testing with autonomous vehicles. So we actually have other companies. Today, I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but it was Mercedes-Benz out there today. So these aren't just run-of-the-mill companies. These are the major companies that are testing out there. But please, we noticed some people moving some of the caution tape and moving some stuff and still driving through that area. If we could please ask everybody respectfully not to move in there, because those are driverless cars driving around in there, and you might become part of the test. So are there any questions?
Nope, thank you very much.
You guys will let me off that easy, huh? Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Any members of the public have any comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, we'll close the public on the consent calendar. Okay. Seeing none, we'll close the consent calendar, bring it back to the council. Do you guys have any questions on the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
I do want to pull 7 and 8 first, and I'll entertain a second on that motion. Motion by Raymond, second by Vieira. 7 and 8 are pulled. Peretta? 7 and 8 are basically the same. I want to talk to staff on those. Oh, we got to call for the...
Call for the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Raymond?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Hale?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do you know why I pulled those, right?
You want to discuss about the projects?
No, what I want to make
Okay.
sure is, this is our final payment on the Juniper Avenue pedestrian and bike path infill project,
Correct.
and also our Buhack sidewalk infill, which we're 100%. I walked both those areas. Buhack's kind of, I don't know if that's our fault that it's infested with weeds now in the sidewalk, because the kids are supposed to be able to walk down Buhack from the new housing development to high school. Did you guys inspect that one last time before we released these funds?
Engineering did. John
there-
Rasmussen, our engineering assistant, went out there and checked that out. And also on the Juniper, myself, our city engineer, Michael Hayes, and also John Rasmussen, we also went out there, and there was some concerns on the bike path, and Taylor Backhoe took care of those concerns. But as far as Buhack was concerned, yeah, there was a walkthrough and before it was signed off.
Okay, because I noticed that there's, I don't know whose responsibility, but the new sidewalk is half overgrown with weeds, and the kids, when they're walking 3 across, they gotta go in the street again, and we've spent all that money on a sidewalk. That has nothing to do with this project acceptance?
No, no.
Okay, so that's a public works issue, okay.
Yes.
So, motion to approve 7 and 8 then. Looking for, motion by Creighton, second by Vieira. Call for the question,
So we're doing those as two separate?
Together.
Together? Okay.
together.
7 and 8.
7 and 8 both, yes.
Okay, Ambrose,
Yes.
Viera,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Public hearings. Ordinance approving Cannibal LLC development agreement regarding cannabis business pilot program for cannabis dispensary on property located at 741 Enterprise Court, Atwater. Peretta?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Staff is looking to continue this item due to the city legal team is still in talks with Cannibal at this present time.
Okay. We'll move on to the next item. Okay. So we're going to reopen the public hearing on this item and continue to the next council meeting. Does anybody from the public want to come forward at this time regarding this item? The public comment period will be at the very end. I don't know if you're here for that. The last thing at the meeting will be the general public comment.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, bring it back here, and continue it to the next council meeting. Oh, and also, motion, please.
Well, I have a question.
Go
Can I
ahead.
have a question? So, what number is this? I
Item
mean,
one
as
under
far
public
as how
hearing.
many were approved, where is this then in being approved?
That is, I'll let legal take that.
Also, I know we were going to get a map where all these are. Can we get that? So where are we with this one? Is this yet another new one, or, I don't have a list to keep all the names, so I apologize. So where are we? Is this one another new one, or what is
I'll let
this?
Jose answer that one.
Where are we, Jose?
Well, this one has been in the works for a while, under negotiation, I think for months now. It's gone to the planning commission for recommendation, and now it's here at the council level. It hasn't opened, so it hasn't been approved yet. This is a new development agreement with this applicant. I don't know, I don't have off the top of my head a list of how many development agreements. I think that's your question. How
Yeah,
many do
I
we have
would
out there?
at some point like a list, a very clear and concise of what we've approved up to this point, and then a map of where they are. Because they come to us a couple times, and to keep all of the names straight for me is very confusing, but at some point, I don't want to look up one day and be, oh, we have 15 of these. We started at 3 and then decided we were going to kind of let the market dictate how many.
So we have 12 development agreements already in process, but they're for different things in the map that we'll provide you, and was emailed but maybe didn't get, so we'll make sure that we provide you with the map, and it
Okay.
identifies what type of business it is, where the location is, so that way you'll be able to see it. And also, we have a spreadsheet that will also identify what the business is and the type of business it is, so that way you can see where they're all within the vicinity of the city.
Okay.
And I think staff can get you that before you leave today, too.
That would be great, because my opinion, and I know it's just my opinion, but if we're at 12, I'm ready to kind of whoa and see, that's a lot.
Good comment.
So,
Okay. All right, moving on, next item. Or we need a
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
That was a motion, yeah.
I'll second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose. Call for the question.
Kale,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Viera,
yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Next item, ordinance approving zone change for property located north of Bell Lane and east of Truckee Drive to Business Park BP. Thompson, which Fredo will handle this one.
Good evening, Mayor. Yes, Mark Breda, General Services Manager. We're looking to continue this item also in order to give legal the proper timing in order to do the final review of this ordinance. We're looking to continue it to September 9th.
Okay, I'll open it up to public comment at this time. Any member from the public like to come forward on this agenda item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment.
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Call for the question.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Hambriz?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next item, ordinance approving zone ordinance text amendment to provide for supportive housing and transitional housing uses within residential zone district. Beretta.
Good evening, Mayor. Yes, this is a sister ordinance to the previous ordinance that we just continued. So with that same manner, we're going to look to continue this one and adopt both at the same time.
Okay, I'll open up the public hearing at this time and take any testimony. Any members of the public that come forward on this item, please step forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to the dais.
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale. Call for the question.
Viera?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Hambriz?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
City manager reports and updates, discussion and possible action regarding city clerk logistics and operations. City manager Waterman.
If I can just comment on the last two items too. The last two ordinances, a public hearing notice is required, and so there's been a quick turnaround. These items went to the planning commission, but in order to get the staff reports and the ordinances created and reviewed prior to council deadline for the agenda is why we had to push these off. So going forward, we will not be booking these back to back after a planning commission to give staff and legal both time to get them reviewed prior to bringing it to council. Just want to clear that up. So at a previous council meeting during our budget session, council directed myself to look at logistics of removing the city clerk operations from the HR department. And we did an analysis, and I was asked to bring some options back to council for your review and consideration. On looking at the analysis, we came up with three analyses.
Is that in the packet for the council?
It is, and it's a verbal report. I can provide it to you.
No, can we take a pause and get a copy of that?
Sure.
So we're gonna take a break real quick and get some photocopies of this so we can follow along. So we'll take another 5-minute recess. Glenn, can you come up here? So while it's still fluid and in motion, we don't have all the details worked out. And then if we get a copy, you guys are entitled to a copy. So we don't want to present something that's not ready to be presented yet. So just go ahead with your verbal update.
Okay. So the first option would be to hire a full-time city clerk staff person. Right now, we have an elected city clerk per our code, who was appointed by council because our other city clerk stepped down and resigned. So in the meantime, council did appoint that, and it's ceremonial in nature. The second option would be to hire a full-time deputy city clerk to perform city clerk functions, but that would have fiscal implications for our budget. And we have unfunded positions that are currently in the budget that haven't been filled. So that would, it would be council's decision whether or not this position would take priority over the other positions to fill once we are fiscally solvent. The third option, and that's the option that I recommend, is utilizing existing deputy city clerks and removing the responsibilities from the Human Resources Director. This would free up the time for the director to devote more time to the human resources and risk matters that the city has. Although staff is preparing their own staff reports, it's my job to ensure that the council packet meets your expectations and standards. And in order for this option to work, staff would need to do a good job, a better job of meeting these standards in the front end to produce a packet that is ready to present to council. Although staff is working diligently and we've had several training sessions to do this, they still need some more training, and our first training was held on Monday, August 19th, and our second training session is going to be held on September 16th. This training session gives staff the opportunity and tools needed to present a good product, which will eliminate time needed for review in the agenda items and packet prior to putting the agenda together. Staff is capable of doing this, and we will be working towards this if this is your direction, but this is something that I will need to make sure that staff is responsible for preparing their own staff reports, and this will allow our deputy city clerks to put the packet together, and that would take the human resources director out of the equation, and it would fall back on the two deputies. We have a deputy city clerk, HR analyst that currently assists with the packet, and then our other deputy city clerk, which is my assistant Janelle, that would also help in the packet. There are some functions of a city clerk that I think council may not understand what goes into putting a packet together, or what the functions entail, because on the outside it may seem like it's an easy task. All we do is the city clerk would do is put the agenda together and put the packet, but there is a lot to the process. Not only that, they are the custodian of the records. They handle all our public records requests. They publish our public hearings, our record destructions. They're also responsible for FPPC, administering our oath of offices. They receive the claims and other actions against the city, compliance with all state laws regarding Brown Act. They serve the election. City clerk also serves as the elections officer for local elections and receives our bids and RFP packages, and maintains our muni code and codifies our ordinances. They also prepare and final our resolutions, our ordinances, and our staff reports. So it is a big task. Right now, we don't have one person on staff that could do it. Our staff is still wearing multiple hats, but I do hear the direction that I believe council is wanting to free up our HR department to focus on some of those priorities, and this option would give us the opportunity to do so. So with that, I'll answer any questions that council has.
Council, you guys have any questions? Gail?
Can we ask Gina how she feels about it?
Might as well.
How I feel about the duties being spread across the deputies for the packet?
Yes, and how do you feel, will that release more time for you and your team to do the human resources?
Yes, I believe that with the training that Lori has in mind for the staff, and with Janelle and the other deputy doing the packet, that would free up time for me, yes.
Okay.
Ambrose?
I thought when this was on our agenda a few months ago that someone else was appointed to do this.
So we have an appointed city clerk right now who is also our payroll technician. So her city clerk functions are more ceremonial. She does do the oath of office. She will sign documents. But as far as the prep work, she does not have time to do the items that I was talking about on our list that a city clerk would do.
Pierre?
We did do an analysis too of other agencies and surrounding agencies, and most have a city clerk that would be assigned to that. But right now, that's not a financial, in my mind, a financial.
What would be an approximate fiscal impact to have a full-time city clerk?
So a full-time city clerk, other agencies, I believe, was around $125,000 a year, and that's actually making more than our department heads right now. Now, if we were to look at a deputy city clerk, that would include some of those functions and still have a city clerk appointed or elected. That, I don't know, Gina, do you know if we had the analysis for that, for a deputy?
No, but I believe it's about 80.
80?
And that's both the first number and this number is without benefits. That's just salary.
So, and then the third option that I was talking about, we already have the staff, so it would be reducing some of the loads, increasing the sum, but again, it would be my responsibility to work with staff to make sure, most cities, the staff does their staff reports and the clerk just puts the agenda packet together on top of the other duties as the clerk. So that is something that we are working on, and we have had some training, I believe, with some additional training, staff will be able to do that.
It seems like right now there's just little pieces floating around everywhere. It must be, it just seems to me like you should have a lot bigger fish to fry than putting together, doing staff or putting together the agenda. I don't know, it also seems like a lot of money to pay someone $125,000 a year to do this. Seems like we could find someone that's trainable, very intelligent person to train to do a lot cheaper. We have a lot of open positions, but we just passed a balanced budget, so hopefully those are something that we get filled here in the very near future.
This is also a professional position. I don't know if Jose might want to comment on it, but I do know that we have other positions, community development, economic development, that are also priority positions too, so I would just consider that.
Brandon? Okay, so I think it's information only, verbal update. I don't know that, it sounds like council's ready to do anything at this time. Looks like a lot of research still needs to be done. So unless council wants to give any specific direction, I think we need to digest what we heard tonight and then maybe come back at a later time and readdress it.
Yeah, I know. I think I can mull through it when I can see it and then do some research on it and kind of see what other cities come up with ideas than just make a decision on the spot. So that's, yeah, I'd like a little more time to look at it.
Yeah, because I think the initial discussion we had was definitely not hiring more people to do. It was take the people we had, potentially split them up if that was feasible, and if not, and that was your wheelhouse to do that. Looks like you need some more time, so I think we give.
And this will free up the city,
Yeah.
the human resources director to do HR.
Okay.
We'll take that out of her.
City attorney.
So just a quick comment, Mayor. So the city manager did talk to me about this, and she's right. Usually you would have in many jurisdictions, a city clerk. In our case, we do have, as Lori mentioned, an elected city clerk. So, and then there was a vacancy, so you have an appointed position. Now, appointed position is just basically ceremonial because you needed someone that met the criteria that they lived here in Atwater. The option that Lori mentioned, which I think could definitely be brought back as far as to show you how it works, Mayor, it kind of goes exactly what you said right now, which is using the existing resources that the city has in splitting, kind of having those those duties go to two of our deputy city clerks, which is not our human resources director. The big impact here is making sure that the training is done, so at the back end, there's less work to put together the agenda, because the main question was always, why is it at the end taking so long to put together an agenda? Why are folks staying after midnight? And this has been the issue for I don't know how many years. And I think that the council gave direction to bring back solutions to solve that. Bring back solutions to have potentially HR focus on HR and have this agenda packet get put together. I think Lori's position that she's working on, and will definitely bring back more information fleshed out with the costs, is working with the existing resources, having the deputy city clerks actually handle the agenda process, but focusing some time and energy right now on doing the trainings for the department heads and the managers to make sure that when the staff reports hit our deputy city clerks, they are pretty much, it's more of just putting them in the packet instead of spending a lot of time going back and forth. The city manager is also working on some deadlines, potentially even moving back the deadlines and having
Well,
more
I think
time.
on the deadline thing, the council's put that hammer down a long time ago, that the council doesn't want Friday, Saturday, Sunday postings, and we know that you guys have to have that in that department to get the agenda out on time, get it posted online. So I think what the attorney's saying is true, but also along with the city manager, the council wants that deadline moved up earlier so that staff does their job.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it's making sure that the city manager gets the items even earlier. That way, we're publishing even earlier.
Right.
And council and the public get an opportunity to review the agenda packet with even have more time.
And this puts it back on the staff. So I would get it earlier, I would be able to review it and send it back to staff if it wasn't ready to go into the packet, rather than fixing it and correcting it before we're posting the packet.
Okay. Any council, you guys want to make another comment, or we're just going to let, this time we'll just let Lori keep working on this, the city manager will work on it, and when you're ready to bring it back, we'll have better information from you. At this time, I'll open up comments from the public. We have comment cards in the back of the room. If you haven't filled one of those out, then you'll go after all the comment cards are through. So we'll open up public comment at this time. Come
At this-
forward, or who's the first one on the card?
I'm going to read the.
Okay.
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and/or placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. First, we have Richard Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I need to make it perfectly clear to the City Council and a few members of the community of my rights to express political views. That means, as an American, I have the right to express those views as I see fit on my front yard. You have the right not to like them, but that's as far as your rights go. Now the Atwater City Manager and a couple of council members have learned the hard way. You can't send your renegade police chief and his Gestapo officers on my property, private property, and rip down our signs that you don't like. The Constitution is very clear about political signs and the rights of the people. Although you are slow learners, you finally fired Chief Sammy Joseph for cause, and voters kicked out the squirrel hunting mayor. Those two might have thought Atwater was Russia, but they were both wrong. Again, all that doesn't stop the city from spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers' fees to find out that they acted against the law. You don't seem to know the difference between commercial signs that are covered by city ordinance and freedom of speech signs that are guaranteed under the Constitution. Maybe you know now, after paying out thousands of dollars in legal fees to ex-city attorney Doug White, who went laughing all the way to the bank. Now I'm putting the city on notice. I will never give up my rights as an American citizen, and I'm not going anywhere. All I ask is that you obey the law, because as the words of an old song goes, every single day, every word you say, every game you play, we'll be watching you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lori Johnson.
No, go ahead. You next one on the card.
Sorry. It's slow. It's loading. Okay. Years ago, Atwater had a real sense of community, and we had all the ingredients of a united and caring family. Once upon a time, we had our own local hospital right here in town. No need to go to Merced. Lost Hospital was just down the street. Back in the day, just like now, summer temperatures often exceeded 100 degrees, and it seemed like every kid in town made a beeline to the plunge, which was the city's own community swimming pool off of 3rd Street. It's a fact. Our 4th of July celebrations draw thousands of out-of-towners. Ralston Park is packed with vendors and people lining the streets for the grand parade. Back then, it was even more impressive. Governor Gray Davis thought so. He spent part of the day in Atwater and greeted citizens as he marched in the parade down Broadway. After which, he visited the Vietnam Veterans booth and greeted his fellow veterans. Now, all that sense of community is being tested. Today, a great program that helps build character in our youth is being turned into a political football. Some city officials and police activity leagues directors are bickering over the direction of the young cadets in PAL. That's the Police Activity League. I urge you to help stop it. Don't let egos ruin a wonderful program that benefits all our children. The PAL program is the finest character building program we have for our children. Atwater is a better place for it. Finally, our community is blessed with a large number of churches and places of worship. Our church leaders help us in our spiritual lives, but it is disturbing to hear a few of them use this public forum to express their snarky criticism of fellow residents. They have every right to do so, but they have an obligation to a higher order to live and obey the teachings of the Lord. That means they should act with compassion and forgiveness, not petty criticism. I believe Atwater has grown, but so much that it can throw away that small town sense of a family that once was our hallmark. Let's all work so we don't lose this precious gift. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Pastor Rich Miller.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive here in Atwater. Also, Pastor Victory Baptist, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. Let me go ahead and open with a story, if I could, since forgiveness was just brought up. Many of you might have heard of Fanny Crosby before. Fanny Crosby is known for having written a lot of old hymns of the faith. Fanny Crosby lost her sight because of a doctor who was trying to help her, who put salve on her eyes, and it actually blinded her instead of helping her. Well, at one point in her life, after writing all of these songs, she had gone to a pastor, her pastor, and she said, "Pastor, I have a problem with forgiveness." She says, "I've already forgiven that doctor who wronged me, but it seems like the memories keep coming back in my mind." And he took her over to the window and he said, "Do you hear that bell that's ringing?" And of course they had the old bell towers and the ringer of the bell who would be pulling on the rope. And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, as soon as he lets go of the rope, that bell is still going to swing. And it's going to swing for some time, but eventually it'll stop." He said, "When you forgive, it's letting go of the rope. But it still takes some time for you to forget." And he said, "Eventually you'll forget, Fanny." And with all that said, we should be forgiving. But at the same time, with forgiveness comes forgetfulness, or putting the past in the past. And so, as I said at the last meeting, I thank the council and the mayor and our chief of police and all those in the city who are trying to move forward and help our city move forward. We can't go forward if we're still looking backward. And with that said, I do want to invite you all, as we're going to be having on September 8th, Sunday, September 8th, recognition for our firefighters. It's going to be for Firehouse 42, and Chief Slate and I have been in contact. We're going to have from 10 to 10:30 a meet and greet time. At 10:30, we're going to have a service to honor them, and around 11:45, we're going to have a barbecue. So we'll have food before and food after, because that's what we do as Baptists. We eat and we talk a lot. So you're all invited to come. I know that Councilmember Ambrose was able to come to the law enforcement one. We didn't have great weather, unfortunately, but we should have good weather for this one. So it's September 8th if you're able to make it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No more.
Any members of the public that did not have a card come forward at this time?
Mayor, City Council. My name is Bill Ham. I've been a citizen of Atwater for about 13 years, ever since they built Silver Ranch. Ever since they built Silver Ranch, once the developer left, the entrance way to Silver Ranch just went, phew. Right now it looks like the garbage dump. And Pastor is one of my neighbors. I've been trying to get down here, but I've been sick, and I've been on dialysis and stuff. And but he was telling me that it's going to be looked into. I hope so, because the money that I spent for my house over there, $425,000, and look at the entrance way to Silver Ranch, it's crazy, because the value of my house has went down, but the other end of Schaefer is looking good. So I hope that Silver Ranch don't become the ghetto. So if we can get something looked into, I remember when Manuel, he was the guy that used to work over there. He kept it up pretty good by himself. But I understand that I know we have financial problems. Everybody do, even me. And but hopefully we could work out something to get that thing cleaned up, because it looks terrible. You got tumbleweed, bushes all over the place. You got the homeless sleep-ups in the corners, the palm trees that the all overgrowth is hanging out of them. And I've been asking for that for probably about 7, 8 years to be cleaned up. What I always hear is this: we're going to look into it, and that you're going to have people to bid on it. Pastor told me I think they are going to be bidding on something like that. But I just want to come in here today and say my bet about it, because it's really scandalous. It really is. For you pay $414,000 for a house, and now it's probably worth about $200,000 because of the area and all of this stuff, and then the downfall. So hopefully you guys can do something about that.
Well, we're not going to give you lip service. I want you to meet Vernon Haddix, the man behind you, is our new Public Works Director.
Oh, this gentleman here?
So before you go home tonight, please sit down, and he's the guy that gets things done in that area. So that's where the buck stops with him.
Okay.
So thank you for coming tonight, and I hope you can visit with Mr. Haddix.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time?
Speaking of getting things done, good evening, Mayor and City Council. Our last water paperwork we received in July stated that our rate was .043. Our latest bill that we just got, now it's gone up to .060. So my concern is what's causing our elevations to increase when we're being active about trying to decrease them. And I know that it's an average with the wells, but also a gentleman that contacted me from Fresno that we've been awarded $63 million settlement. Now, I understand part of that goes to attorney fees, but I hope that I can look at all of you and that you will make a commitment that we will actively take those funds and not use them elsewhere and actually improve our water, because I just got my water bill for $182 just for my water portion of it, which I know I have beautiful green lawn and I pay for that, but I'm also having to go to Save Mart and buy bottled water because I can't drink, or I don't feel comfortable. I'll say that I don't feel comfortable drinking our water with that elevation, and we're like one of the highest in California right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Not to go back and forth with you, but quickly answer both those questions. July, the rates went up, so you're seeing your first August bill?
I don't even care about the minutes.
Okay. So on the $63 million thing, the council is working today to put things in place with the award of that. You still have to get that money in the bank to do things, but the council is, through the city manager, already given direction to initiate the process to start cleaning all the well field up. So it will be for the cleanup of the contaminant that you're talking about.
So just a quick question.
Yep, we're good. Well, you can't come back up.
I can't.
I'll talk to you afterwards if you want more
I
clarification.
just want to know how many wells we have.
Any other members of the public that come forward at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment and bring it to the dais. Vera?
Okay, just to kind of follow Marianne on what you said, we had a discussion this evening because we're just, very happy that we've been awarded. The money is there to clean the water, and we are very happy as a council that we have that to present to the citizens, and we're, I think all of us are extremely focused to make sure that not a penny of that money is spent frivolously, that it all goes directly to make sure the water's clean. And, when we started talking about this a couple months ago, it's right after the twins were born, and I had gone to my daughter's house and I went to help make a bottle, and I thought, I can't give this water to the babies. So it makes you really aware, I've been drinking it, so it doesn't, but for the kids. So please know that we are very committed as a council to make sure that money that we were very generously awarded, that will go where it's supposed to. And very unanimous, we're all very passionate about how you feel with that.
Kale?
I'm not done.
Okay.
I got a list over here. Couple things, there was some mention about a sense of community in Atwater, and some of that has been lost. But I do want to mention a couple things that I've seen over the past year where that sense of community is actually coming back. We've been doing movies in the park that have been extremely successful. We have another one coming September 28th, which is actually Pets 2.
At Ralston?
At Ralston, that you can't stream at home. You can't get that on DVD yet. So that's really exciting. That's turned out to be a really cool thing for the citizens. It's a very family-oriented, something fun to do. We had a really successful Easter egg hunt with the mayor at Easter. Hundreds of little kids showed up. We're having another meeting, and before next summer, ground will have been broken, and we'll have a nice splash pad for the kids of the community. And I know we do miss our swimming pool, but this is a much safer, something fun for the kids and to keep cool. We have gone out to RFP. We're doing numerous things to try to upgrade and improve the parks in the community so that there's a safe location for the families and the kids and the community. So that's kind of that. I'm not quite done yet. I need to just clarify a couple things that kind of little red light went on tonight with open positions. Lori, can you get us a status of what we still have open and where we are advertising and what the status of getting those positions filled is? And then all of our Prop 64 opportunities, kind of where that is. I feel that it's been forever that we approved this. We're moving forward. We don't have anything open yet. I don't think that these marijuana facilities are a long time revenue. We need to get a couple open. We just keep approving. I think we have 12 now. can you get us an update? Why aren't we open? What's going on?
There is one open.
No, nothing's open. And there's no reason to continue to spend, staff time and money unless these are open and we're seeing revenue. It's just, I don't understand what's taking so long.
that we give you will have where they're at in the process.
Thank you. That's it.
Kale?
I heard it was open too, but I found out it was a guy with a bag on the corner that was selling it, but so couldn't buy that. I have in here that summer is the annual permission slip to be lazy. And in this hot weather, that's what I am, trying to be lazy as I can, but we still have to do what we have to do, and but it does give us the opportunity to lay down in the grass and watch the stars, or sit on a branch and watch the clouds. And I love doing that. I ask for my thoughts and prayers to my special needs granddaughter Scarlett, who is having seizure after seizure after seizure, is in the hospital as we speak, and getting ready to potentially be put in a coma. So please pray for her. And I want to say that our sheriff is doing great, and those prayers worked. Thank you. I didn't steal that again from you, did I, Brian?
Was that?
I didn't steal that again, did I?
You did. Ambrose?
First off, let me apologize for my wife's cell phone going off.
Good job, Tosh.
Oh, threw her under the bus.
Should have seen my daughter's face back there. She was like, oh, man. Moving the park this past Saturday, we had a wonderful turnout. The weather was actually pretty nice. During the day, I know we were in triple digits, but once the movie started, it was nice and cool out there. Veterans Park looked wonderful. Got a lot of compliments from all the residents that attended. To piggyback off of that now, again, September 28th, the next one will be Secret Life of Pets 2. Like Cindy was saying, this is something that you just can't stream right now. You can't go out and purchase. My understanding, Merced, is going to be playing Secret Life of Pets. Well, we're going to have the newest one, so definitely come out. Also, our mayor and council member, Kel here, talked to all of us, and we're going to be, as a council, cooking, hot dogs or so out there?
Hot dogs, chips, and some other snacks we're going to do for everybody.
So that'll start probably around 6 o'clock that evening. So definitely come out, grab a hot dog, some water, and enjoy the movie. And that's definitely going to be at Rossland Park over off of 3rd and
Grove.
3rd and Grove. There we go. You would think I would know that since it's in my district. Also, continue to watch out for the children out there. You know, school has started, so they're definitely going to be out there in the morning and the evening. So yeah, just be on the watch out, and that's all I got.
Councilman Mayor Pro Tem, senior serving
Get it right.
council
Keep going.
member on the dais, Brian the Bulldog Raymond.
Anyways, what I was going to say is I didn't know Danny had such personality. I enjoy it. No, touching on parks and everything looking good. Director Haddix, fantastic job. Mr. Ham, your concern is my concern. I've been screaming up here for years about the landscape districts, something that you've been paying for and not getting. And so we're finally taking action, and hopefully you're going to see a huge change in the next 6 months. Director Haddix is on the job, and I don't have any concerns going forward. In the immediate, I do, but going forward, I know he's going to have it ready to go. So, you know, good work. We were out at the community center Saturday as well. I know it took a minute, but it looked good when we were there. And even Joan Fall Park, I got a text message yesterday from a guy thanking me for getting the park taken care of. It's the best the field's looked in years. And I had nothing to do with it, so that was you and your guys. So, good work there.
Sheriff.
John talked about the sheriff. I had something else, but I'm gonna let you guys off the hook, except for tomorrow's my wife's birthday. I have to wish her a happy birthday. And any homemaker I have a newfound respect for. She's been gone for a week and running the kids here to there, working, doing everything. My hat's off to you. So I wouldn't come back to me either, so I don't know. But that's it.
Okay, I want to, we're going to jump over to the city manager to make a comment on what Councilman Raymond just said, because I think it's important what the councilman stated, that as long as Cindy and I have been on here, we've been beating the drum, and I know Brian was beating the drum before that, and Ambrose and Kale came along, and they're smashing the drum to take care of what you're saying about the landscape districts in your neighborhoods, and we want you to be proud when you drive into your neighborhood. So, City Manager, can you please address that real quick?
Sure. So, as we've talked about the staffing issues that we've had, there's more work than there is staff these days. We have gone out to RFP to contract the landscape districts out to make sure that you're getting what you're paying for. The initial RFP that went out, we had to cancel it, and so we just went out to rebid. It went on August 14th. Mr. Haddix, do you want to give some update on where we're at in the process and the timelines of when where we're going to be bringing that back to council to award a bid?
Good evening. We should expect the bids to come back on the 29th. And we should be having proposal review on the 30th. On the 3rd, we're going to select one of the, hopefully get more than two, but right now we only have two that went to the pre-con, plus one that bid last time, so we know of three. There may be more. We want to come back to the council on the 9th to award the contract, and then we'll get a notice to proceed for the 16th.
So that is our update on.
So council
I
will
said
be
that's good,
waiting
that's quick.
patiently to September 9th. We'll be coming to you for award. I know.
Well, I think the most important thing is, no matter how impatient we're waiting, the residents, which we had here tonight, it takes a lot to get somebody off their couch to come down here, especially when they're not feeling good. And I got a lot of respect for you for doing that, and I'm embarrassed that we haven't taken care of it since I've been up here. And with Mr. Haddix, hopefully we can execute.
We will execute that, hopefully.
Waiting this long, it'll be all right.
I just have a couple of quick things. Thank you, City Manager Waterman. Congratulations to Andy Krodick in his 30 years selling houses. I was talking to somebody the other day. It's interesting. I went to the event. How many people and how many homes he's been in and out of in Atwater. It's in the thousands. It's very interesting. I'd love to have a cam mounted on his shoulder over those 30 years as he went in and out of these houses to see how things changed, the people he's met, the people that have grown, and other things. But congratulations to you. The reason I bring that up is that anybody could do this. You got to be a hard charger. You got to be dedicated. And who's going to be the next Andy Krodick out there is what we need to see, who's going to be the next one. So maybe Brian Raymond or somebody else. I won't bore you guys either, but I want to reiterate the movies in the park. Ralston, September 28th, 6 p.m. The council would be cooking, no charge, hot dogs, chips, water, maybe some sodas, whatever Raymond throws in on top of that would be great. Pulled pork or something. The movie starts at 7:30. We anticipate a large crowd. It will be the Pets 2, which we secured with Don Borwart's got the copyrights to that because he knew somebody. That's how we beat Merced on that. So Atwater's trying. Congratulations and thank you for the event we had at Veterans. The park looked good. The ants were under control. Facilities were clean. To me, it was really a moment where I was proud of Atwater to come in. There were 2 different families barbecuing at those barbecues that you guys had repaired. They were having dinner there, getting ready for the movie in the park. And then we went around the corner over there. The kids were playing ball, and the play equipment was all being utilized. The grass looked well manicured. Staff had the projector up, and they were playing light music. The Kiwanis Lions Club was there in full force. They had the tent up. They were giving away snacks and waters and drinks and popcorn. The community is coming together because we're starting to deliver and people want to do things, and it's just a great feeling. So that was super awesome. And we're going to adjourn back to closed session in the Community Development Conference Room.